Hello, I am Irfan Lodhi. Welcome to the second free Primavera online training session. In this session, we are going to learn how to create a calendar and assign calendar in Primavera. Second, we are going to learn the most important part when you prepare any schedule, that how to assign activity relationships in Primavera. And the third, types of activity relationship. So we will know how many types of activity relationship work in Primavera and how they behave when we assign to the activities. The calendar in Primavera are used for date calculations and can also be used to specify the time periods of day or week or month or year. That calendars are also used to define when work can take place for activities and resources. So now you can understand that we have an option in Primavera that we can assign calendar to the activities and to the resources. Let's move to the next part, at how to assign activity relationships. So in a simple word, that activity relationships are the dependencies between the activities. There are total four types of activity relationships as follow. The first type is finish to start. When activity A finishes, then activity B starts. Then the second type is start to start. So start to start is when activity A starts, then activity B also starts. So SS, when both activity are linked together, they start parallel at the same time. Then the third is finish to finish, which is called FF. When activity A finishes, then activity B also finishes. So it is similar to start, but here we are talking about activity finish. Then we have start to finish SF, which is very rare we use in schedule, but it is one of the option we have in Primavera. When activity A starts, then activity B finishes. All right. Now let me take you to Primavera and we will start knowing in Primavera how these work. So let us start from Primavera. So if you see this schedule and we have got activities, we already learned in the previous session how to add activities, how to add WBSs, how to add project and EPS. So if you want to know where is the calendar in Primavera, there are two options you can see. Any activity you click, under the activity details, under general, you will find one section here, activity calendar. This calendar is assigned now as a default calendar. So whenever I add any project in Primavera, it considers this calendar. But now we are going to change it. So if you go to Enterprise, under the Enterprise, we have an option to select calendar. You click on calendar, a window is open. Now, under calendar window, you can find global, resource, and project. You can find different kind of default calendars under global, and you can also create a calendar as global calendar. The difference between global and project, that global calendar can be assigned more than one project. However, when you assign a calendar to a project itself, it can only be assigned to a specific project. Now I'm going to skip resource here because most probably in third session we are going to talk about how to add a resource and how to assign the resources to the project and to the activities. So we will cover this topic there. We also have to cover one topic from the training session 1 about the resource dependent activity type. So we'll cover in the next session. Now I'm going to talk about global calendar. So how to see what is the calendar? What are the timing? What are the working day or non-working day? If you click, for example, I select 5 into 10, means 5 days into 10 hours. And then I go to modify, click modify, and here another window open, and it is showing total work hours per day. And you can also select the detailed work hours per day here. So that's my calendar. If you see, it is showing June 2020, and you will find Saturday, which is with dark color. And if I click on Saturday, you will find all dark here. It is showing me that these all hours non-work hours. But if I click on 12th June, it is showing some white hours here. And here again, it is a dark color, which means that it is non-work hour. Then again, we have work hour. So that is how the calendar works. Standard showing with very light gray color. Non-work is showing with slightly blue color. An exception is a white color. I will talk about exception later. Now we are going to know how these calendars can be created according to your requirement. So I am going to close this. Now we are going to create a calendar under project. Click add button. So here it is showing select calendar to copy from. So I am going to select 6 day 10 hours. Okay. And from here you have to select. Now I'm going to name training session. Click enter. Now I have created a calendar in the project. Now I'm going to modify and make the changes according to my requirement. Again, I will select detailed work hours. And from here, if you see, this is starting from 0, which is midnight, then 1 a.m. to 1:30, and it is distributed to 30 minutes per hour. Now, if you talk about here, currently my project calendar is starting from 7 a.m. all the way to 5 p.m. But I'm going to change it. My requirement is, let's say, I'm going to start my work at 8 a.m. I'm going to work up to 12 p.m. and then I have lunch break from 12 to 1, and then again I will work from 1 to 5. So how to do it? You have an option that you can select these two by your mouse and make it non-work, because I said I'm going to start from 8 a.m. So 8 a.m. to 12, it's already set as standard work day. But now it is my lunch break from 12 to 1. So I will select both. And I'm going to click on non-work button. So it will create hours as non-work. And if you see, it is showing bluish color, which means these 2 hours are not considered as work. And similarly, on the other hand, if you notice that the same day is showing with white color, it is called exception, because my other all days are having different timing, and specific this day is having different timing. But we cannot make it each day one by one. If you have a 2 years duration, you will end up maybe in a month to finish it off. So we have an option. Click on worksheet. From worksheet, it is showing calendar, weekly hours, standard work hours, and then here day of the week. Accordingly, I am going to set up work and non-work hours for each day. Let's say Sunday, it is showing all non-work, so I am okay with it. That's my requirement. From Monday, I am going to set up. So from 7 to 8, it's not my work day, so I will make it non-work. From 12 to 1, I will make it non-work because it's a lunch break. And then from 1 to 5, it is already showing working day. The same exercise I am going to repeat for each day. Tuesday, then Wednesday I am going to do the same, lunch break, non-work, and 7 to 8 non-work. Thursday I am going to repeat the same. Friday I am going to repeat same. Saturday is also my work day, so I am going to repeat the same. I am done, and now it is showing me all the work hours and non-work hours according to my requirement. Click OK. Now you will notice the same hours is reflecting to each day except Sundays. Sunday is my holiday, so it is showing non-work day. If we move to next month, July, it is showing the same. We'll move to next, and it will show the same days. But sometimes, let's say we have
Eid holidays or public holiday according to your country origin whenever you are working. So it depends that what is your public holidays, and you have an option. You can go to the specific day according to the public holidays, and then you can make it non-work hours for a specific day. Let's say 12th June is a public holiday according to my country origin. So you have to click on 12th June, go to the work hours, select all working hours and click non-work, so it will show non-work, and it will show you with bluish color, which indicates that 12th June is a non-work hour, and it will not be calculated in the dates as a work day. Click OK. We have created a calendar. Close the window. Now, if you notice here under the activity calendar, each activity is assigned the default calendar as I explained to you earlier. So now we are going to change it. So how to change? It is a column button. Click on it and you will find out all the selected options, all the columns that we have selected, and it is appeared in my window. Now I'm going to add here another column, calendars. Calendar are under general, so click on calendar, add to list by clicking on this option, and the calendar column is added, and it is showing me the calendar already assigned to the activities. Now we need to change this calendar to the calendar we have just created. So click on the calendar. It will ask you the calendars you have in your database to be selected. But if you see it's a global, so we need to click on it and select project calendar from here. Click on it and it is showing the created calendar training session. Click on select button. So the training session calendar is showing here. Better to sort by calendar. So we need to make it on top. Then I am going to select all the way to down. Press shift key and click to the last activity calendar, but make sure you click on calendar but not to finish date or any other columns. And then right click, select fill down, and it is done. Now all my activities are assigned with training session calendar. This is very easy. This is all about calendar. So we have learned how to create a calendar, either global or project, how to modify the calendar according to your requirement, and how to assign the calendar to the activities. Now we are going to learn about activity relationships and their types. The first activity is a start activity. Under the activity details, we have relationships. We have also predecessor and successor separately, but I am going to use relationships because in the relationships, we have predecessor section. At the same time, we have successor section. Normally, I prefer to assign the relationships from start and keep assigning the successor activities. So now on start activity, we have to assign successor activity. Let's say I have to assign civil design submission activity. So under the successor, I will click assign button. It will open up assign successor window. Now under the successor window, we have some options like columns you can select. You have some filters, all activities, milestone or critical activities. If you want, you can select from here. And then we have group and sort by. We have project hierarchy as it is showing at the moment. We have list. If you click, you will find out all the activity lists without WBSs. So let's go to group and sort and click WBS hierarchy. Now we click on civil design submission and click assign button, or you can double click on civil design activity. It might take few seconds and it will show you here with the red cross sign. It means the activity has already assigned. Now it is assigned. Let us close the window and see here civil design submission activity is assigned with FS relationship type. FS means that once start activity will finish, then civil design submission activity will start. Or you can click on go to button, so it will take you to the activity. When you prepare a program, you have thousands of activities, so it's a best practice to use the button go to. Now if you notice here, when I am at my design civil design submission activity, it is showing one predecessor, which is start, but again the successor is nothing. Now this time we are going to assign successor with different option. So let's say I am at my civil design submission activity. So I have to press shift and click on design approval activity, right click and click on link activities option. And then if you notice here, the successor is already assigned. And it is assigned with FS relationship type. So if you click on start, it is starting from 19 June. And then once 19 June start activity will finish, then civil design submission activity will start and finish according to the duration. Let's change the duration 20 days and we have a design approval 25 days. Now we are going to change it and we are going to say that once my design submission activity will start, then my design approval activity will also start, but after 5 days. So we are going to put leg 5, schedule the project, schedule, and then it is showing me 19 June, civil design submission activity is starting, and after 5 days, my design approval activity is starting. But here I am going to show you on time scale. Let me set up time scale to days. Now I have got time scale set to days, and if you see here, Friday is 19th June, so the submission activity is starting on 19th June and the approval is starting on 25. So here I am going to show you that Friday is the first day, then second day is Saturday, third day is Sunday but it is not calculated, then Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. So it is calculating 5 working days, and it is because of the calendar we assign, and it is showing the start date 25 June 2020, and accordingly it is having a finish date based on the duration we have set 25 days. So that is the difference between finish start and start start. And now you have also learned about the legs, how legs work in Primavera. Now I am going to assign the relationship to another activity, MEP design submission, and this time I am going to assign from predecessor. So last time we assigned successor and this time we are going to assign predecessor. So click assign button, the assign predecessor window is open, and we are going to say that once I start the project, then I will be able to start MEP design submission. So click start and assign button, and the relationship already assigned. Now it is showing start with the start activity as a relationship type. We are going to change to finish start, but if you keep it start it doesn't matter, because start is a milestone and it is having 0 days duration. Now we are going to have a different option here, but this time I'm going to say that once I will start the project, after 2 days I will start my MEP design submission activity. And the reason might be I don't have design engineer for 2 days. So we'll keep it FS plus 2 days lag, and then we will assign successor. So click assign button, click MEP design approval and click assign button. So the relationship already assigned. Now we are going to change this to FF. So we are going to say once my design submission activity will finish, at the same time my approval activity also will finish. So from drop down list we are going to select FF and we are going to schedule the project. Schedule. Here we go. It is done. Now it is showing that after 2 days my project start. I am going to start design submission activity on 22nd June because we put 2 days lag. So from 19 then we have got 2 working days, and then this activity is being started on 22nd June. So here first day is Friday, second day is Saturday, Sunday is holiday, so it is not calculated. From Monday we are starting the activity. Alright. Now let's have a look on finish relationship, how it works. So here I am saying that when my submission activity will finish, then my approval activity also will finish. So if you notice, both activities are finishing on 25th July 2020. So this is how FF relationship type works in Primavera. Now we are going to learn how the leg works with FF relationship. So let's say I'm saying that once my MEP design submission will finish, after 5 days my MEP design approval will also finish. So if you see here, we have FF relationship assigned with approval. We are going to put a lag 5 days, schedule the project, and it is extending 5 days from the submission finish date. Submission finish date is 25th July, and after 5 days design approval activity is being finished, which is on 31st July 2020, and this is how finish relationships work. Now we have one relationship type left, which is start to finish, SF relationship. But let me tell you, SF relationship is very rare to be used while you are preparing a schedule, and it is not recommended to use. But because it is in Primavera, so I am going to demonstrate how it works. I am going to give you. Now let us start. We have MEP shop drawing approval and we have MEP submission approval. I am going to assign MEP shop drawing approval activity predecessor as MEP shop drawing submission. Assign. It is assigned. Let's change relationship type to SF. Schedule the project. Now let's have a look on SF relationship. I have got MEP shop drawing submission activity starting on 1st August 2020, finishing on 18th August 2020. I am going to assign MEP shop drawing approval activity as successor. Close the window, and I am going to change relationship type SF. Schedule the project 18th August. However, MEP approval is finishing before the submission is started. That it is showing MEP shop drawing submission will start and then the approval activity will finish. And that's why it is illogical. It doesn't make sense. We don't use this specific relationship type unless you justify it properly. Now, in every project, we have a typical kind of relationships for start, finish, and project duration activities. In project duration, if you remember, we have talked about in session 1 level of effort. So how level of effort works. So now we are going to assign relationships. From start, we'll assign project duration. Double click, it will be assigned. It has assigned already. Close the window. and we are going to change this to start, and we are saying once your project starts, the project duration also starts. And then we are going to assign another relation. So we will go to finish activity and we will assign predecessor again, and this time we will assign the same project duration, but here we will say with finish relationship type. If you notice here, this project duration activity is starting from the start date and finishing from the finish date. So this is how we show the level of effort activity as project duration, but here it is showing the duration 37, which is working days. So I am going to add 7-day calendar. Now you have learned how to add calendar, so I would say 7-day calendar, 7 work day. We are going to modify and check if everything is okay. Yes, everything is okay. If you see, there is no any holiday showing and there is no any non-work day showing like Sunday. Click OK, close. From project duration activity, we are going to click 7-day calendar and then schedule the project, and you will notice this 37 days will change and it will increase. Click schedule again, and you see here it is 43. So it changed from 37 to 43, but the dates are same. Now I'm going to show you how to assign activity relationships quickly with the bulk activity. So we have a list of activities: site survey, excavation, substructure, all the way to finishes work. So you have to select all. So you have to click site survey activity, press shift key, select the last activity you want to select, right click and click on link activities. It might take few seconds and all the relationships will be assigned in a sequence. Now if you see, site survey activity is already having successor excavation as finish start relationship. Now we go to this activity and it is having predecessor and successor again, and successor is the subsequent activity which is substructure works with finish start. You have an option, you can right click customize successor columns and you can take dates column from here, and we are going to select start and finish. You double click and it will be selected. Click OK. In this way you can easily identify the successor activity dates when you assign the relationship and when you will be working on schedule. It's easy to understand because here I can see substructure works and the dates here onto my window. But for example, if you assign a successor activity which is not appeared in your window, so it's easy to understand the dates from the window under successor. Now from block and plaster work, we have MEP and then finishes work. Now we are going to assign from finishes work to testing and commissioning. It's the same way we have already learned how to assign successors, and we will keep it FS. We'll go to testing and commissioning activity and we are going to assign further successor, close out and handing over activity. But this time we would say, start, and we will assign the same relationship because I am going to show you how to have two activities similar with different types. So we are going to say here, closeout will start after 3 days of testing and commissioning, and finish to finish with testing and commissioning activity plus 5 days. Schedule the project and let's see how it behaves. So if you see here, this activity is starting from 11th February 21, and after 3 days closeout activity must be started. But it is taking more days. If you consider from 11th February to 17th February, it is having 6 days. And now we need to find out the reason. And it is a best example that sometimes you have this kind of issue and you don't know how to track this. So I am going to show you how you can track this kind of issue and resolve it. So if you see, the duration, it is having some decimal 32.50. It should be 30 days and close out duration should be 30 days. Schedule the project and let's see if it is changed. But it is not changed because there is another reason behind it and we need to track it. So how to track it? And the problem here is the time, not the date. Alright? So how to get the time and how to set the timing? So we are going to edit user preferences and then under date we are going to select 24 hours. At the moment it is showing do not show time, but we are going to select 24 hours, close the window and it shows me the timing of my dates. So now it is showing 11th February 21 at 3 o'clock I am starting this activity. Why it happens? Because all the predecessor activities are having decimal durations, which means if you look at the first activity, it is starting on 8 a.m. and it is finishing on 5 p.m., which is correct and that is what I want. But if you see substructure activity, because of the duration having decimals, it is starting from 8 but finishing on 10th. So finishing on 10 a.m., which is wrong. So I am going to change this to 32 days. The same I am going to apply to another activity. The same on the another activity 22 days. MEP 38 days. Finishes is okay. Now I am going to schedule the project. And you will notice all the timing will be from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's it. If you notice, all activities are finishing on 5 p.m. That's what I want. And accordingly, my testing and commissioning and close out activity timing also correct. And here I am going to show you another example that we said close out activity should start after 3 days when testing and commissioning start. But it is starting after 6 days. So why? And the reason is, if you notice, FF relationship is driving. And that is a very important part when you prepare a schedule. You should know which activity and which activity relationships are driving and which are not driving. So if you look at here, once my testing and commissioning is finishing on 18th March 21, after 5-day lag, the closeout activity is finishing. Now I make the lag 0, schedule the project, and this time SS relationship type is driving. And that is why the start date changed from 18th February 21 to 16th February 21. It is an example for you to know that how the Primavera relationships work, especially if you talk about which activity is being driven and which activity is not driving. And let's say we are going to put the same leg 3 and schedule the project. And this time you will notice both activity is driving because both activities are having same duration. Both activities are having start and finish, which means that once testing and commissioning will start, after 3 days closeout activity will start. Similarly, once my testing and commissioning activity will finish, then my closeout activity will finish. That's all for today. I hope you learned from it. It is the most important topic in Primavera, activity relationships and calendar. So if you have any further question about it, you can write down in the comment box, or you can also post it on the WhatsApp group and I will reply back to you. Please subscribe my channel and keep passing on your knowledge to others. Thank you. Bye bye.